Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's showtime. Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, what I'm intending to do is do some series of videos where I'm trying to walk new players through the starting experience. Reason is, there are a fair number of new players coming in, and maybe a little assistance might be appreciated. When you're going to create your first character, you have to choose first from the 5 races. The Char are sort of fierce warrior cats. Humans are human. The Norn are sort of large Viking-esque race. Note, not fertile with humans, so I assume there is a significant overlap of curious humans and curious Norns. I'll go no further. The Asura are a techno-magical race. They are oftentimes amoral or even sociopathic in their seeking of knowledge. And the newest, lore-wise race, the Sylvari, a plant-based race that woke up about 25 years ago. I'm going to choose human. You can choose any one you like. You can move from starting area to starting area if you need to be with a friend who's starting at the same time with a different race. You'll have to go through the tutorial, and eventually quest lines will branch off, but you can do them with your friends. So the reason I'm choosing human, the most straightforward starting area and easiest for most people to deal with, because it feels like sort of most of the stuff you'll be doing is sort of boilerplate human high fantasy stuff. The Char is a lot more down and dirty warrior-y stuff. The Norn is a lot about the spirits of the wild. The Asura have their techno-magical seekings. And the Sylvari are still sort of feeling their way out into the world. Yes, Snoopy, it will also be a key farm. For those who are not familiar with it, a key farm is something a lot of Guild Wars 2 players will do. Once a week, they'll create a new character, they'll level them up to 10, they'll do the first chapter of the storyline, which opens up at level 10. You get a key for that, for opening up one of the lockboxes, and they'll do that every week, deleting the character. In this case, this character is going to be a keeper. I'm planning on buying more character slots with my gems that I got from the last expansion, and this will be the first of the you don't want to know how many is this batch. I have 40 characters at the cap on my main account. So I'm going to go with a human. I'll go with a male. And I'm going to make a male Mesmer. I think all of my Mesmers are female up till now. When I'm just doing my key farms, I like to press the randomize appearance, but in this particular case, we are actually going to be choosing a character and building a character. He's going to be a bit on the thick side. Not quite that pasty. That looks a little bit better. He is going to be bald. Nickel, platinum. Oh, I think platinum's the way to go. The facial hair. Not nuts about the face. Bit better. Yeah, angry. That's definitely more me. Facial details. Ice blue eyes. Bright blue. And mine are closer to bright blue. The nose. Oh, we can do a little bit more. I think width. So there's a lot of wiggle room, but I'm not good at sort of tuning it to find the look of me, let's say. We can randomize this part of the appearance, I think. No, just stick with this purple and glory, and yeah, that's fine. So we've got Orchid, Glory, Matte, Orchid, Glory, Matte, Orchid, Glory, Matte, and Orchid and Matte, I think. And here you start choosing some stuff about to define your character's life up till now. It has no lasting effect. In some cases, it's purely cosmetic. Like this one, I can choose which of the masks I want. I'll go with Fanged Dread. Now you start making things that can show up in the game. Here you have to choose whether you are charming, you're dignified, or you're ferocious. It was a system that they started, but it never really got very meaty in the game. And it's kind of been deprecated ever since. It only really shows up in storyline quests for the most part, where sometimes you making a reaction, say if you choose dignity, which I'm going to choose here because obviously I am so dignified, what it'll allow you to do is perhaps streamline a conversation. If they offer you, 3 options, choosing the dignified one will probably progress you a little bit faster, or maybe an NPC will be friendly or something like that. It's not game breaking. It's not worth worrying about. Now the first 2 chapters of the storyline, the level 10 and level 20, will be based on what choices you make here. So these are storyline things. The missions that you'll get at levels 10 and 20 will be quite different depending on what you choose. I'm going to choose Common Folk as it's the fastest. Human Common, for key farming purposes, is always the fastest. It's the one I've done the most. It's the one I'm most. One of my biggest regrets is that I've never searched for my parents. I never recovered my sister's body. And I passed up the opportunity to perform for the circus. This one is easily the most fun. It's also the one I usually do, but when on new characters that are human, because it's fun. So I'm going to stick with the fun option. The other 2 are both perfectly good. And again, the storyline quests for this chapter will be different depending on what you choose. This is mostly for RP purposes. There'll be like a mentor or something. In this case, you're choosing which of the 6 human gods I was blessed by. And Lissa is the goddess of illusion as a Mesmer. Makes sense. A Mesmer is sort of an illusionist type of character. Lens the Prismatic. Ooh. I wonder if it'll fit. I was trying to come up with a light something and I couldn't, but it fits. I don't think we can have dashes. No. Lens a light twister. I kind of like that. That works for me. We'll go with that. 2 T's or 1, do you think? I think it's got to be the 2 T's. Otherwise, people are going to go, so, wait. Your whisk doesn't weigh very much because you have a light twister? So I think we'll go with light twister.
The human race once ruled Tyria.
Not the whole planet, really. And then things went terribly wrong, mostly self-inflicted.
Now, we struggle to hold our
Humans,
ground.
in fact, are an invasive species on this world.
We've been defeated, driven back.
The human gods opened a portal.
But we will not surrender.
Came through, brought the humans with them. Been screwing things up ever since. And
only Kryta still stands.
And the human gods themselves
Our
have
faith
left.
is strong despite the silence of the 6 gods.
The silence of the 6 gods.
With courage, we'll make our stand.
It's like they
in
opened
Divinity's reach.
the door to a closet, escorted the trouble child in, and then closed the door behind them.
The city is my home. I was born to common folk, just one among many. My friends and I don't seek attention or glory. It's hard enough making ends meet. But I believe we can still shape a brighter world out of the ashes of the past.
We also get the best NPC and the
Today I
best
stepped
line
outside of
in the
Divinity's
game
reach to see
by
the
choosing
world.
this, the human commoner origin.
But when I arrived in Shaemor, the town was under siege by centaurs.
So this first, the Battle of Shaemor. Sorry.
Innocent villagers are in danger. Someone has to help.
There's stuff you can do in town, or you can simply just go straight
can't go on
to
living
the
our lives
end
in
of
fear.
the tutorial.
I have to fight. I have to make a
If you're doing a
stand.
key farm, or if you've done it a bajillion times, you don't need to learn
This is my
the
story.
basics of mechanics, which in essence is, tab targeting and hit 1, because you only have one skill right now. So I am going to do that. I'm going to run straight through the invasion of centaurs into town. Let me just... What the heck? I've got a whole boatload of mail. It can wait. Theoretically, we have to talk to him, and eventually we end up and go down there and do some stuff, but I haven't done it for years. Because it's not necessary. You can basically just skip it. You need to run to this area over here, behind the castle, as that's where you fight the shaman, the centaur shaman, and that ends the tutorial. So this is just the fastest way through the tutorial. You would probably want to fight. You can see you have a 1 skill and a 6 skill. At the bottom hotbar, the 1 is a 1 attack we have with, H, our sword, and 6 is a self-heal. It heals, and also heals per clone you have out. When you make attacks and use skills, you'll create clones. And so it heals, gives you additional heal per clone, and it removes a condition. Like bleeding or slow or something like that. And an additional 1. So right now, the Modnir High Sage is here. We defeat him.
You think you can defeat me?
Looks like I'm the only player who's here. Nope, there's another player there. So basically, we saved a whole bunch of time on the tutorial. But you, as a new player, you probably won. Try playing Spearman and Mesmer. Yeah. Once I get access to it.
What is that thing? It's huge.
That's what she said.
That, soldier, is a threat, and we're
Destroy them!
Charge!
Poor Logan Thackeray, for the one time in his life, he hears, what is that thing? It's huge. And she's
Take out
talking
those
about
giant hands,
Earth
the
Elemental
whole thing will
hands.
come crashing down.
Sorry, Logan. Such is your lot in life.
Watch for debris. Keep your heads down.
Gotta kill the 2 hands. Ow. And I'm doing a great job of getting hit by all of the hand attacks. He's winding up.
Rally to me
And
recover.
I dodged. You can dodge either by double clicking on any movement key or by hitting V. And if you're not holding down a movement key already,
Fight! Fight for everything you hold
you
dear.
will dodge backwards. By default, V will dodge you backwards. If you're moving in a direction, V will dodge you in that direction. And double tapping a direction key can also get you to dodge. Dodging attacks is a big
Not
deal
dead yet.
in Guild
Brace
Wars 2.
yourselves. I think it's gonna explode.
A lot of time it's your best defense, and sometimes it's your only defense. We have successfully completed the tutorial. We have spent the following 3 days in a coma.
Where am I? What happened?
You were injured when the elemental exploded.
Coma.
Captain Thackeray brought you here personally. You've been unconscious for 3 days. You had
What?
lots of visitors. Villagers you rescued, some seraph, and even a tavern keeper
There was
from the
also
city
a
and
little,
his daughter.
a
She
little
came by
lizard
every day.
while I was in a coma.
That'd be my friends, Andrew
Camellia.
and Petra. I'll have to go see them once I'm fully recovered. What should I do now?
Fresh air and exercise are the best medicine. The goddess Dwayna helped you. Perhaps
The
you could
goddess
help
that
others?
left the world and
Nice,
hasn't been
I
seen
will.
for years.
And
That
thanks for taking
goddess.
such good care of me.
Doodly doopy doo doo. And that is the end of
I just keep getting better.
the
and
tutorial. Every time you level up, you'll get a little shivering diamond with wings over here. You click that, and it tells you what you've gotten and what stuff is upcoming. There's the upcoming stuff in the level. You'll get that. All right, we have a scepter now. And this is an item that you needn't worry yourself about. What do we have? Well, we know we want this.
That looks valuable.
What are the other special items? Not sure. But it can wait. This is because I purchased an edition when the game launched, so I get a ring and a golem banker that's buggy as all get out. Talking to a scout like this, guy with the telescope over his head,
The fields beyond Shamor are Kryta's breadbasket.
and he'll show you where there are
Since the
hearts.
Centaur
Hearts
attack,
are the
citizens
equivalent
are trying to
of
rebuild
quests,
their lives.
but most of them
But
have
it's tough with
multiple
bandits and
ways
dangerous
that you
wildlife
can
roaming the
solve
area.
them. For instance, we'll be going
Don't
to
wait
this
for an
farm,
invitation. Jump in and help them.
and at the farm, you can water the scorched corn. You can stomp on wormholes, which will summon a worm.
This is a waypoint.
Stomping gets you
Waypoints appear on your
progress.
compass,
Killing them gets
which
you
is in the
progress.
lower right corner
And you
of
can
your screen.
also slash
You can also
dance
see them on the world
emote
map, which you can
with
access by
the
pressing
3
M.
cows
Press M again to close the world map.
and get some progress.
Teleport to a
on the
waypoint.
heart.
Open your world map.
I will run over here. This got a little bit of XP for getting this point of interest right here. Almost everything gives you experience points in the early game and the late game for that matter. So we got a little bit of XP for the POI. Normally now I would be mounting up, but as a new player, I believe after you get out. So yeah, actually you should have access, I think, at this point. Or very early after this, get access to your Raptor, which you get for 10 or 12 hours of actual game time. So I will use a Raptor. Again, XP for getting a waypoint. You can teleport between waypoints for a small fee, in this case 5 copper between these. And here is the first heart. You can talk to the heart,
How can I help you?
and you have conversational options that'll tell you the things that's going on here. Up here, next to the heart icon, they'll tell you the things you can do that will give you progress on completing the heart. There's an event ongoing here. You can see that because we've got the orange sort of circle drawn around the area in the mini-map on the bottom right.
You got me.
And that tells us there's an event going on. Now, in this case, we are getting what I call a double dip because we're getting progress towards the heart at the same time as we're doing getting progress in the event. They're trying to destroy the hay bales, and we need to defeat waves of bandits to prevent that from happening. Dynamic events go on throughout the whole world. They give you extra experience. I'm getting experience for the bandits I kill, and also I'll get a big chunk of experience when we finish the event. In fact, we'll probably get the whole heart doing this, as we're halfway done with the event. Normally, I would be stomping on the worm mounds, which would summon a worm, which I'd then kill.
Got me.
I'll show you what that looks like. You just flatten it, and up pops a worm. Also, they scared off the cows, so I can't do the slash dance in front of the cows. I might be able to do it outside and still get heart credit for them. Entertain. Oh, they love me. Cows love me. What can I say? Just walk up, hit F. You can entertain each of them one
God
time.
smile on me.
We finished off the
Thank you.
event.
My cows thank you.
We got the event
Everyone
completed.
eats beef and drinks
More
milk,
XP for
thanks.
that, and this will complete the heart.
One more thing for
We
my
now have
list
the
of
heart completed
accomplishments.
as well. The heart will give rewards. Gave 105 karma, which is a currency. We have received a leather bag to increase the size of our inventory and gotten some primary attributes. This again is showing us what's coming up. We will use the bag. Just double clicking it equips it into one of the bag slots. Now if you're on a free-to-play account, I believe you only start with 2 bags slots to start with. But if you at any point you pay money into the game, I think that's true, but definitely if you buy an expansion, which I think are still on sale, it gives you additional bag slots. That's one of the few limitations as a free-to-play player. You have a limited number of bag slots. We have looted some junk. This is basically sort of a little breadcrumb for sort of a quest, but I don't think it's really worth it, and it's definitely not worth explaining in an introductory video. A lot of times you'll get junk loot, which you will be able to sell by just sell junk. I'll show you that in a sec. Bags of pinched goods will have crafting materials in them. When you have crafting materials in your bag, you can just click up here where it says deposit all materials, and presto. They're all gone. That easy. I'm going to move this stuff around because I'm mental about that. I've also received a pair of pants as a random drop. You can see the numbers are green. That generally is the quickest, easiest way to determine if they are an upgrade. They are an upgrade. I wear them. I have a habit I do when I'm creating a new character, at least until they get to level 80, or doing a key farm, which is I go to the dice tab every time I get a new item of attire, and I click randomize dies. You will start with the starter dies. There are also common dies, uncommon dies, rare dies, and exclusive dies. I have most of them. So we're just going to click random and keep whatever we get. Okay. Sour apple, green shade, and enameled, pardon me, amenity. We will apply that. After you've completed a heart, you can talk to the heart NPC again, and you'll get the karma icon, which will allow you to spend any karma you got to buy items.
How do you do?
Also, they have a sell option. There's a sell junk button down here. That will sell junk immediately. Now, in this case, these pants are also junk. So I'll just sell those manually. They're not labeled as junk, but they function like junk. I will also note that a lot of hearts will have things you can pick up and, say, deliver to an NPC as part of the heart. And when you'll finish the heart, it may still be in your inventory. And so you want to keep an eye on that. And those you don't need anymore, and you can just throw them away. But it can be hard to know what to throw away. The wiki is a very, very useful tool for that sort of thing. You can type /wiki in the game, and it will open a browser window or tab directly to the wiki. You can also put in wiki space ET, and it'll open you up to essentially the calendar of events for today, the event timer, and it'll show you all the events and when they're going off. in all of the various maps in the game. And you can do /wiki anything else in the game, and it will do a search on that when it opens up the tab. All right, so for this heart, again, we need to check the crawfish traps and kill anything that's been caught that they don't want, like scales and drakes. So this one has a river drake. I think I'm going to switch back to the sword. That's a little bit better. But one thing you will note, my attacks changed. My 1 and 2 skill changed. If you didn't notice, when I equip the scepter, I get 2 different skills. This one is ranged. This is a defensive one. Whereas the blade has a couple of attacking ones. So
Bringing the pain.
a one-handed weapon will go in 1 through 3. An offhand weapon or item will be 4 and 5. A two-handed weapon, like a staff or a two-handed sword, will take all 5. The 6 is always your healing skill. Most of the time it'll have other stuff it does too, but most of the time if you're hitting the 6 button, it's because something's hitting you.
Nice gear.
7, 8, and 9 are called utility skills. And 10 is an elite skill, which will usually be on a longer cooldown and more powerful than your other utility skills. I have received a cut of quality red meat. This is due to the fact that I have unlocked high-level cooking, and that's the only way you can get this item. It'll only drop if you finished that, and so I'm just going to send that directly to my storage. The first time I realized that you could send all of the crafting materials to your crafting storage. I don't recall whether I wept or not. I might have. My apologies for the doggy out in the courtyard barking.
Hello there.
A warm day today here. I expect that the kids will come out to play later. Again, we have finished the heart. We've completed another level. Primary attributes. We got a 3rd skill off our one-handed items. We got a pair of gloves as a drop. Well, I have established what that means. That means new dies. Note, they all have, they have attributes associated with them. You can see what those attributes do here. Things like power, toughness, vitality. At lower levels, power and vitality are probably your best bets. Power just is a general damage increase. Vitality is a specific number of hit points every time, which always makes that good. The dies, randomize. We have Glint's Sanctuary, Royal Purple, and Shadow Red. It's not bad, actually. That's a pretty fair combo. Over here, we need to plug leaks and kill elementals. Thank you. I'm pleased you think so. There are a lot of new players coming in, and it can be hard to find. And if nothing else, I will be able to point them at this and say, I actually did something about that. Walking them through these first, and many levels. Now, it's easy for me as a guy who's done it so many times to just sleepwalk through it, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to... That is a resubscription from Fatbody for 70 months. 70. That's more months than I have years. You've been here for wow. Thank you, as always, very much, Fatbody. I hope your day has been without labor, except anything that was optional. Now I'm going to hit something that is extremely important. Another heart complete. Well, First of all, I'm going to go up there, and I'm going to grab, whoops, this way. There is another experience generating map item, which is a vista. And basically it gives you a nice view. One of the most important things that a new player can learn, and I'm glad I remembered. Recently I've been watching a number of new to Guild Wars 2 streamers, and one of them pretty well known, Zepla HQ. Final Fantasy XIV and WoW streamer historically, really enjoying her time in Guild Wars 2. And she noted that, someone was asking her about leveling up, feeling slow, and she talked specifically about the new player adventure guide, player adventure guide. What you do is you can hit H to bring up your hero. You can go to the achievements panel, and in the achievements panel there is the character adventure guide. You'll note I just got this one for defeating enemies 1. What it is, it's 5 chapters or volumes. Every single thing in here gives experience. Plus, when you finish out an entire volume, it gives you a big XP bonus, and then immediately gives you the bonus also for anything in the next volume you've done. So you'll finish this, you'll get a bunch of XP and XP from volume 2, anything you've completed well. It can be anywhere from 2 levels to like 5. I've seen as many as 5 levels when I finished a chapter of the adventure guide. But they're not just experience points. They also teach you some of the fundamental mechanics in the game. For instance, here, points of interest. Here, leveling up. We showed you that. Completing events. Those are the dynamic events that occur in the world. They're usually in orange, an orange circle or circled area on the map and minimap. Talking to scouts. Viewing vistas, like we just did. Dodging attacks. We're coming up actually on an area where they cue you on how to dodge. Reviving allies, dead NPCs and PCs can be revived. You can do it for other players, and you should, because you get XP for it. Using emotes, well, I can do that immediately. Using my healing skills, using profession mechanic skills, which haven't opened up yet. Those appear above your regular hotbar. And using waypoints. Those are all the things that are part and parcel of the first volume. And every volume has additional things, sometimes the same thing, but at a higher level or in a different map area. It runs you through crafting and harvesting of materials and all kinds of stuff. These are very useful pointers for some of the basic game mechanics. Oops, you don't have gliding, so I shouldn't use gliding because you don't have gliding. But you get used to some of the mechanics. Okay, we have another event going on. We have the orange area. We need shiny red apples. All right, we can kick the red apple tree and pick up apples. But we will also occasionally bring some spooters down, because spiders live in the trees. You grab the apples. I always, when doing an event, like to take it to the NPC. Here, take my apples. Who is marked by what I think looks like a arrow pointing at a Reese's peanut butter cup. I appear to be the only person actually here. Oh, there's another player.
How else are you gonna get the apples down?
A couple
Watch out for
players.
spiders.
But if the event isn't ongoing, then you have to kill spiders to make progress in the heart. Squish spiders and spider egg sacs, and drive bats from the orchard at night. So at night, and there is a day-night cycle, at night there are bats around too. Pardon me. God damn. Now, here's your first place where you can run into a chain of events. Because under some circumstances, they need you to kill extra spiders. And if you kill enough spiders, it spawns Spider Queen. So events don't just happen, they can happen in a chain of events in the open world. So in 16 seconds, we're going to complete the event. We have another point of interest over here. That's the level. Heart complete. 123 karma. Level complete. +7 to primary attributes. New profession skill unlocked. And rally unlocked. This is the profession mechanic. Above my hotbar, you see F1. What it is sometimes when I'm whacking on things or using some of my skills, a clone, a visual clone of me will appear. It's an illusion. Can do a little bit of damage, not a bunch. And I can burst those. I can make them explode or shatter. And those do damage, sort of like they were made of glass. And that's kind of the basic mechanic for Mesmers, is generating phantasms. A phantasm will like appear, it'll whack somebody, it'll turn into a clone, and it'll continue to whack but just doesn't do any damage until you shatter it. And we'll get several different shatter skills, each of which do something different. But F1 just does damage based on how many clones you have, but it does an area effect. Okay, now here is where we learn the dodge mechanic. It tells you to press V or double tapping a movement key. Now in some places, dodging into that chest where you get a free pair of boots will give you 1 out of the 3 completions you need for the adventure guide, but some of the maps, starting maps, give you 2. And in human, I dodged through. I only got 1. I grabbed the boots, dodged through. I've now dodged 2 out of the 3 I need to do. And there's 3 out of 3. And that is a completion of another element of the adventure guide. The Greatsword is very good, especially low level. This is a trophy, is a shiny red apple from the apple orchard. That event is done. The apple is no longer of any use, so most of the time if you see something listed as an event item, and you're not doing any current event, you can just throw it away. The boots are new. That's a new item of attire. We have a new coat as well. We're going to equip the Iron Greatsword. The Greatsword on Mesmer is a ranged weapon, as we use it to focus our illusions and whatnot. Again, we have an event up. You pretty much always want to do the events.
We'll take it from here.
You see, basically, I shoot laser beams out of my Greatsword. I imagine that all warriors wish they could shoot laser beams out of their Greatsword. You'll note the very long-range attacks.
You must like pain.
It depends on the pain, because, some pain doesn't really hurt. You know what I mean? So we're defeating waves of bandits. Event was successful. We got a little bit of progress, about a quarter. But we did get 5 bags of goodies. Again, open those up. Those are crafting items. Those go directly into the crafting bank. I can't wear this. This is medium armor. Now, eventually, you will get a salvage kit. This is a copper-fed salvage-o-matic, so it has infinite charges. What would you do is you just
Affirmative.
salvage an item, and it gives crafting goods. I got 4 leather out of that thing that I could not otherwise use. Now, what I normally do is I just head inside to finish this heart, because
kidding, right?
it's actually, I think, faster. Because to finish this heart, you need to search bushes for lost moas, kill bandits, and recover feed from the caverns. So, they've been stealing Purina Moa Chow.
Strong.
So, we pick up the stolen feed, and it'll always summon a bad guy. Kill the bad guys. For progress and XP. Right there, I summoned a dude.
You must like pain. I'm dead.
So I'm going to summon a phantasm.
You're kidding, right?
I think I probably have enough of the feed to go back to the NPC and turn it in to finish it off. But this guy took offense to my riding by him. There's the stuff. Is it yours? It is. That's enough for heart and level completion. Level 7. More stuff unlocked. A lot of it's just informational. But we also did change our attire twice. So if I don't like the first dies, I can die a second time. I don't make up the rules, except the rules that I made up, and that's one of them. We've already done green. How about something else? Okay. Pumpkin orange, salmon, and copper penny. We will talk to them and sell the junk. Those are actually also salvageable. No, they're not salvageable. Some items can't be salvaged. Some of them can't even be sold. I believe that when you start your first character and get outside of the tutorial,
How do you do?
you should get access to the Raptor mount, and it's good for 10 or 12 hours of gameplay, I believe. And if you purchase any of the expansions, it becomes permanent. We have an event going on again. Water pipes remaining 2. This is a timed event. We grab the POI here again. XP. And we have a Vista over there. Again. Experience points. And a pretty picture. Of the water infrastructure. Alright, it's not especially exciting, but, you know, you got a big city up there. Divinity's Reach. Timed events are kind of a pain in the ass. Because they're timed. Alright, we need to defeat the bomb carrier. I will defeat the bomb carrier just this once. It's kind of cheesy, but I'll get some XP when the event completes, successfully or not. Now you'll note, I am level 7 already. And you can just browse the map and see where you have or haven't been. So we've taken care of everything. We did not finish the traps. We did not finish the Fisher traps. Wow, okay. I will teleport back. I'll use a waypoint because we get XP for the first time we use a waypoint. I meant to do that. I meant to forget to finish that one. Yep, that's exactly what I am. Yep, definitely. So we'll teleport there, we'll finish that, and then we'll teleport back here. Oh, we've got a res. We have an option to res. It's a friendly NPC. That is another, what, quarter of a level from finishing off another thing in the new player guide, the adventure guide. Again, the adventure guide is key to advancing quickly. All right, we did not finish this one because we're bad at games. So we'll use this waypoint. That'll give us another completion. We're using waypoints. You can see where we are now. And we are at 11 out of 14 complete. And that's 11 out of 14 complete to get the reward. There are additional ones, but you are considered to have completed it. When you finish 11 out of 14. There we go. Another skill. Another level. Underwater combat is unlocked. Underwater combat in the game is better than any other MMO. It's just not great. All of the skills and stuff you learn while not underwater, all the weapon skills at least, don't work because you have to use water, spear, harpoon, and harpoon gun. Spear gun, I believe. All right, we will now go right back here to Shaymore Garrison. Again, that's costing pennies. Costs more if you have a larger distance to go or if you're on a higher tier. The water pipe event succeeded, and I got a bronze medal for killing one bomb carrier. Now you want to commune if you see a hero challenge where that is available. Other hero challenges will require you to fight. I'll show you one of those in just a second.
It's a soldier's life for
You
me.
may wonder what do you get from those hero challenges? Well, you get hero points. Okay, that was kind of a gimme. I'll show you how they're used. When after I defeat the Windmill King. As he's another hero point. I will also note that there are ground-targeted skills. And there are untargeted skills, and there are targeted skills. So I'm going to throw my Phantasmal Berserker at him. There you go. He hit him and then vanished when the guy died. I'd rather not fight the veteran guy, as those are tougher.
Strong.
And picking up these trinkets gives me additional heart progress, so that's kind of why we're here. Doing hearts and doing events and just wandering around and hitting waypoints and POIs and vistas and all that stuff. All of these are just additional ways to get XP because almost everything gives you XP. One or two more lost trinkets. There we go. Another heart complete. Next up, the Windmill King. He's a Skrit, which is like a cross between a rat and a rat-tailed chipmunk. Like this.
You're on your own.
And the Windmill King is, even by Skrit standards, insane. Skrit have a very interesting characteristic. they're really stupid. But when you put a bunch of them together, they all become really smart. Kind of the opposite of humans, I suppose.
Windmill King wants to fight a dragon. Bring out the dragon! Forsooth, you have met your match, dragon.
Okay, we have a couple of clones out. Let's go ahead and run up to him and pop them both. That's a ground-targeted skill. And we have another clone.
You bewitched me, you evil magpie.
I am indeed an evil magpie. If you ever had any doubts, the Windmill King has shown you the truth. I am an evil magpie. That's ground-targeted again. Well, let us harvest some herb seedlings. We do not have any tools. I believe those. We get those, I think, at level 8 or 9. We get those soon. He knocked me down. Wooed. Set the dagger aside. These are Skrit. Skrit are often used for comical effect. Most of the time they're friendly. Sometimes they're not. And yeah, we've been killing them and getting progress on the heart, but we can also destroy the Skrit shiny things because, hey, if we humans know anything, it's the value of destroying the indigenous cultures. Cultural identity. Too dark? Come around over here. We have another scout.
All new to me.
This area supplies a lot of the materials for Divinity's Reach and Beetleton alike. There are many threats to the workers, and any damage to them or their livelihoods could impact the entire region. We could use some help to keep things running smoothly.
He sort of shows you what's going on in the immediate area. More Skrit shiny things.
Get the axes and cutting things.
We've got an event going on with more Skrit.
Strong.
And I've got an angry boar, too.
Nothing can stop.
I'm hit.
Heart complete. Level complete. Now we have the harvesting stuff. There's like 5 tiers of harvesting stuff. Copper is the lowest. Mining nodes and
Good to meet you.
wood nodes
Can I
have
help you?
3 each, so you whack a mining node, you'll get 3 pieces of ore. Harvesting a tree will give you 3 pieces of wood. If it's just sort of a food object, like, say, a potato out in the field, that will get you just 1. Which is why when you buy them, you get 100 charges on a mining or lumberjacking node. We are at 9. I'm going to go ahead and skip past to
Show some
Beetleton.
respect. Now collect the head. Lord Beetlestone must have his newest.
We'll do the Beetleton because it's an easy and fast one. There's another hero point over there. This is a slightly higher level zone. This is level 13. I'm only 9.
Centaurs ruin my party.
But all the stuff that you do in this town is non-combat, so that's not a problem. Yes, even stomping of wasp nests. Again, I have done this a great many times, so I know all the tricks and everything to make it relatively quick. Killing rats, for instance, gives you hard progress. Moving the centaur graffiti. Oh, another rat. Apparently, I think I was only during the alpha, if then, there was a series of events that could lead to the centaurs taking over this town, and the graffiti removal is a leftover piece from that content that didn't make it into the game. If there are any new players out there who have any questions at all, please feel free to ask.
How do you do?
And if you're watching this on video on demand on either Twitch or YouTube, feel free to ask a question in the YouTube comments, or I guess on a Twitch DM, right? Either or. All right, the heart is complete. The lovely little town of Beetleton. Overseen from that ludicrously lavish mansion by Codicus Beetleton. It's not much of a spoiler to say he's a bad guy. The moment you lay eyes on him, you'll know. He has clearly been possessed by an evil beard. You'll know. Oh, can I get in time to get a hit? Nope. We'll need to fight him again.
Right up, carnival goer.
Yeah, the other guy just beat your buns. Now it's my turn, I
You think
guess.
I'm too old to kick your tail? Don't judge a grape by its snout. Beat me and take home a prize.
Leveling up 1 completed. Alright, now we're going to hit him with a whole bunch of shatters.
I can't believe it.
We kicked his butt. Level 10, personal story unlocked, weapon swapping is unlocked, which means now we can have 2 different sets of weapons and we can swap them. So in combat, this will double our options. Well, it depends. You can keep like 1 offhand for both sets, so you wouldn't be doubling your options. But in this case, we will be. We will equip the sword, and yeah, the sword. The interface is imperfect. Sword offhand, and rod on hand. Don't say it. Butter. One of those guys I killed had butter on him. I just don't. It weirds me out. The number of people who carry evidently sticks of butter on their person.
What do you need?
I need to sell a hoof and 3 brittle bones.
What do you need?
Oh, I think there is a weapon vendor in town. In which case, someone had posited that I could get the spear. Now, spear is only available to accounts that have purchased Janther Wilds and run a character through, I believe, is necessary to unlock Spear across the account.
Need something?
Now, generally, you can get Spear as an underwater weapon a lot earlier. Harpoon is technically a spear, right? We will use that instead of the greatsword. That didn't work because it put it in the water weapon slot, right? Brute force it. Aha! I have brute forced it. I like brute force. I cannot lie. All right. What else do we have here? We have feeling better. What else do we have? I've already got that. And that. In fact, there's one in the bank. And that. And we get him again. Not quite sure why I'm getting him twice. I knew I was getting him one more time. From the Twitch stuff. The Twitch giveaway.
Sorry, they're not.
Twitch drops, but I'd already gotten them. They had to reset. Oh, they offered it a second time. Right, which I knew. Apparently they reset it because they had some problems with the beta as well. So, I got it months ago the first time it was offered. I got it again.
I have everything you need.
Week and a half ago, and then again like a week ago. That explains it. I now understand. Okay. We can now, having reached level 10, we can return
You buying something?
to the town where our character actually hasn't been. But lore-wise, they have been. They grew up here in lovely Divinity's Reach. And I will say that until Lord of the Rings Online brought Minas Tirith into the game, I felt Divinity's Reach was the most realistic feeling city I'd ever seen in an MMORPG. It's got scale, it's got places where people actually could live.
Carnival activities take place in the Commons, which is split into the eastern and western districts.
Oh, there it is.
There's live music.
For a second.
Any places to eat? There's a tavern.
You know, houses and stuff. It's not as crowded as a real city this size would be, but that's fine. At least it feels like an actual real city. And I'm going to what is called the home district. There are different home districts in each of the 5 racial capitals. For humans, it's the Selma district, which I'll show you on the map in a sec. The Selma district. Home. And so a lot of the personal storyline quests will take you into this area. There's also an uninstanced part of the city that is the same. But for storyline stuff, it's instanced. Let's grab this POI because 89 XP. I ain't too proud. My friends, I guess, own this nice inn. And we are headed towards the first appearance of the best NPC in the game. He will be talking to Barmaid Barbara, and his name is Uptown Johnny.
Keep walking. If you ain't a friend of Big Nose Ted, you ain't welcome here.
Come on, sweetness. Just one dance. Let's see where it takes us.
Only if you get a job, a haircut, and a clue. And maybe not even then.
Barmaid Barbara shoots him down like a goddamn surface-to-air missile. And Uptown Johnny only shrugs.
You almost spilled my drink, and I almost had to mop it up.
He gets cut down better than that a little bit later. That's what makes him... Well, that and the line he uses a little bit later makes him the best NPC in the game. All right, here's my friend Petra.
I'm so glad to see you. I heard that you were up and around, but I was still worried.
I'm fine. Thanks for coming to see me. You know I love you and your father, but you both worry too much.
Hero points. I never did get
That's
around to
because
those.
you
I'll get
take
around to
too many
those
risks.
just as soon as she's done.
Hey, girl. Stop gabbing and bring me a drink. I think you've had enough, buddy. You're cut off. Now get out of my tavern.
Don't make me cripple you, old man. Give me more ale, and this time, it's on the house.
Leave my father alone, you ugly goon, or I'll call the Seraph.
Ugly? I'll show you ugly, honey.
All right, we got to fight. So once the fight is done,
I'm gonna knock you out and look good
Strong.
okay, that the 2 skill on the spear for the Mesmer seems pretty good. I'm gonna heal. I'm assuming the 5 skill is a blind. Looks like it should be a blind. Now I'm going to read these skills.
Leave it.
Slash your spear in front of you. Gain might. That is melee skill. 300. That's a short range skill. Swing spear in a circle, dealing increased damage to foes in the outer edge. Striking with the outer edge will always deal a critical hit. Ooh, nice. Create a clone and gain clarity if you hit an enemy. Clarity is your spear skills are empowered. Okay, so we want to use that as an opener. Cleanse conditions and evade while preparing a strong attack. If you successfully evade, heal yourself. Healing is improved if you have clarity. Phantasmal Lancer. Dash at your foe. Really enjoy your spear on your Mesmer? Well, I gotta say I like the visual on the 2. Cripple and immobilize, giving yourself swiftness. Hits 5 targets. 2 empowered phantasms. Mental collapse. Oh, it doesn't even blind. It sure looks like a blind, doesn't it? With like lights coming out of the guy's eyes. Teleport to your target and release a cascade of psychic energy. Empowered stun. That's got to be a big, 300, a big defiance break. Good evening to you. I am doing reasonably well. As always, I try to set a...
I'm dying here. Strong.
I know. How about we bust up some phantasms on his ugly, stupid head?
All right, I surrender.
And we'll res this poor tavern person. I hope you're doing okay, dude. Your dudeness, your dudosity.
Round like a big nail. Get over here and help me! That's enough. I yield.
So far, I am impressed with Spear on the Mesmer.
I need backup.
Oh, that had to hurt.
Twitchy Jake.
Okay. Surrender.
Loser. Okay. Hey, I've got an idea, Big Nose Ted. We can play a game, and you can go first. How's that sound, Ted? Does that sound good to you, Ted? Ted?
Let's play who can hit the hardest. I'll go first.
I said you could go first, so that's fine.
Strong. I give up.
Well, they're a bunch of losers. Easy peasy. Commander Sarantine comes in, looks around, tries to arrest me, the hero of Shaymore. I don't think so. Sarantine, hello? Sarantine? Wow, that whole cinematic hum. I don't think I've ever seen that before. We will take the Vitality gloves because
our low-level prisoners. We'll have to start.
you have a get a discrete advantage. Vitality, I think it's 10 hit points for every point of Vitality. 30 hit points is a discrete number, whereas the other, like they give toughness, little armor, power, that might give you 1 extra point of damage in your hits or something like that. But vitality at low levels is just like stamina in WoW at low levels is the way to go.
Finished with that.
We have another bag. Literally, I have done several hundred key farms on human characters and had done this whole fight, and I've never seen it hang like that. His name was actually Big Nose Ted. I thought you were insulting him. No, his name is Big Nose Ted. I have done my best to create a character that looked just like him, except he didn't have the big nose, and I named the character Normal Nose Ted. It was a key farm character. We have new gloves, and we have 3 bags of loot that'll have items, which probably are not usable, but might be. Okay, I'll take an upgrade for the scepter. Sure. That was not what I got. Sometimes. It only knows, by default, the client only knows the spear as a water weapon. So you kind of have to manually move it once you have the spear unlocked as a land weapon. Again, that's not by default. The rifle is also not by default. That is primarily, I believe, a healing buffing weapon. Mesmers are a little bit weird.
Begin destruction protocol.
All right, 5 hero points. Now I can show you about hero points. You'll note we have an exclamation point here. These are where you learn new skills under skills. Specializations are where you will eventually differentiate your character from other characters, and elite specializations more so. What will happen is you'll train skills, and you'll choose one of these specialization lines at a time to go through, because at level 21, we open up the first line of specialization. What this will show is there will be a series of boxes, basically, where you get whatever's in the first box, usually maybe a buff to stats or something like that. And then you have 3 choices, and you get one of those, and then you have another skill or buff, and 3, and then buff, and 3. And so basically that gives you 3, 9, 27 different choices for each specialization. So for instance, if you decide you really like the greatsword and there is a specialization line that includes a 20% reduction in the amount of cooldown for your greatsword skills, you're probably going to want to take that specialization. When you get to level 80 and get enough hero points, you can choose an elite specialization, Chronomancer, Mirage, Virtuoso, and in a little less than 2 months, a 4th one is being added. That is Troubadour. And what you do is at the bottom line only, you'll note that it has kind of sort of this extra special frame around it over here, whereas this is plain, ornate. That indicates you can put an elite specialization only in that bottom line, which opens up at level 71. And that's how you can specialize. So you will have access to 5 regular specialization lines and a choice of 1 of 3. And you don't even have to have an elite if you don't want to. So initially you'll spend points here that will unlock skills and stuff. Most of those skills will be in the 7 through 0 or 6 through 0 line. And again, at level 21, you can open up 1 of these. You can, but until then, you can't spend any points in them. So initially, you can choose, for instance, in this case, signets, mantras, manipulations, glamours, and illusions. Signets are always a good choice for almost any class because they have a passive benefit and an active skill. So for instance, this one has a heal. Heal yourself when you summon an illusion. Anytime you summon an illusion, you get a small heal. Plus, you can use it for a big heal on a 30-second cooldown. And then this one gives you swiftness and additional random boon. And it also extends the duration of all boons when you activate it. If you have good boons, you can activate it and the boons will last longer. And so on. So they each have a passive benefit and an active benefit. Mantras are skills that you charge up. They have a certain number of charges that you can use. I think that's the same here as it is on... because mantras also, I think, are on Guardians. Manipulation, mostly are going to be skills with illusions to mess with people. Glamours, additional sort of spell bonuses and things. Illusions is pretty straightforward. It summons illusions. We'll just go with illusions because, hey, we're mesmers. Mirror image is a stun break. It's always nice to have a stun break if a guy hits you with a crowd control, like a stun or a knockdown or anything like that. And Phantasmal Defender will taunt the mobs that are around. I'm going to go with Phantasmal Defender. And so by unlocking here, you get access to skills. Here you can see currently we have these two skills. And these skills are the only available skills right now. Eventually, by the time you hit level 80, you'll have unlocked all of the skills, all of the specializations, none of the elite specializations. So, if you're a new player or on a new class, it can be worthwhile to look through and see which of the utility skills you find interesting. Get those. Once you get access and they unlock the lines for the specializations, to take some time and look through in here. You'll also get skill unlocks, but you'll also get abilities and a lot of buffs and bonuses and stat changes and stuff like that. So taking some time, because while eventually you'll get access to all of these, you can't respec it in the short term. So that's something to be aware of. You wouldn't want to just spend your points unthinkingly, because you might get to level 50 and like wish you had points in Chaos and you don't have any points to spare. But you probably want to sort of look in advance and plan which skills look useful or will work well together, and which specializations do you think work with the way you want to play, the style of play. Do you want to play melee up close? Do you want to play ranged? Do you want to be a support character who does heals and buffs? What do you want to do? While leveling, generally, at least at lower levels, probably just DPS. When you finish out an instance space, you can come over here to just above the minimap and click on that, the door icon, to leave. So I went a little long on the hero points, but that can be sort of a point of what the hell's going on with new players. So I wanted to try and make that one a little bit clearer. We have anything to sell? Yeah.
Goodbye.
Now this character also has a thing that is their icon on the map. They have an anvil. Used to be you had to do repairs on your stuff. They changed it, so now instead you talk to them, and instead of having to repair your gear, it gives you a buff. This buff here, reinforced armor, increases your health and defense. Even though you never played this game or any other traditional MMO, so you have no idea what's going on, you really appreciate my explanation. Thank you. That's very kind. Now, one thing you will not have access to here is Leader of the Pact 3. Inside major cities, I have a movement bonus because of some stuff that is associated with my account. Guild Wars 2 does not require playing alts, but by no means does it punish them. It has a lot of positive bonuses for having alts. Unlocks for cosmetics and dyes and everything are account-wide. A lot of gear, not all of it, can be traded between characters on the same account, even after it's become account bound. So it is alt-friendly, by no means requiring. All right, the next story instance, I have to talk to Lieutenant Francis.
How can I assist you?
Who's an idiot. Captain Thackeray said you to provide me with medical supplies. Sorry, I'd like to, especially if Captain Thackeray sent you, but all of our medical supplies were stolen by bandits. Note, this guy works for the Seraph, which is basically the military guard. And the bandits have stolen supplies. A good friend of mine needs the supplies. How can I help? Maybe we can help each other. The bandits probably stored the supplies deep in their hideout, in the caves to the south of Shaymore Fields. Recover them and your friend will get the first batch. Hey, I've got an idea. How about you do your goddamn job, Francis? You didn't guard them, and now you're sending me to go get them? And we're not done with him. He gets even more useless later in this chapter. Pardon the yawn. Old man gonna be old. We have the green star. We click yes to enter. All right, we're going in here, and our friend wants to join us because she's dumb. On the other hand, you'll note she has an enormous piece of wood she's wielding. Oh, I have new gloves, and I didn't re-dye all my gear.
When I can help?
Yeah, you can help. Fine. I need to re-dye my gear. Because, I mean, look. These gloves just do not go with my ensemble, you know? I have to have some kind of standards. Oh, that's... yeah, that's a color combination. We have World Ender. Maybe the best dye name in the game. Earthen and Autumn. And I look like the clown. The circus is in town. So here's my friend, and she is wielding a piece of wood the size of an oar.
He just took all the loot away to organize.
Eat my dust.
Look, moas. They're big, but remember when we used to ride Rancher Mappy's herd?
Look at those feathers fly. It's possible I've done this a lot. How about look at those feathers fly?
There they go. Look at those feathers fly.
Blasted moas are out. Get those stupid birds under control.
These birds got their name because they're so delicious. When you finished eating one, you want Moa. I apologize. Not sincerely, but I do apologize for whatever it's worth. Not much, really, when you think about it. Yeah, never mind.
Is it just me? Or does everything
It's that do-gooder from the bar.
I resemble that remark. I'm not a do-gooder from the bar. I mean, come on, seriously. Do I look like a do-gooder? Spear's not bad.
Hey, I need backup over here.
Gotta say, you were right, Snoopy. Seems to be pretty okay. It seems to be just fine at the old bandit murderation that we all know and love so well.
You're kidding, right?
All right, before we get to Twitchy Jake, I believe we do have somebody coming up behind. Wow, where'd he go? Must not have hit the hot spot that triggers him. Weird. Okay. It's Twitchy Jake.
Eat my dust.
Hey, keep your hands off me. Okay.
Oh, there he is. Bandit Bodyguard. Hi there. That one's always a crit in the outer ring. That's a nice skill. To have an auto crit like that. Yeah, kind of like that. Oh, we have our second F skill now. So the Shatter does just flat damage. in an area. The shatter on F2 does some damage, but mostly causes confusion, which is they damage themselves every time that they do an action. So it gives them... they hurt themselves. And who doesn't like making people hurt themselves? I firmly believe that that's what most marriages are founded upon. All right, he's going to want to come and fight some more because he's a jerk.
When you get to the mist, tell him Twitchy Jake sent you. Don't you know who I am? I'm famous.
Got them all.
I've got to get these supplies back to the Seraph. I'll bring your father what he needs right after I talk to Lieutenant Francis.
All right, but hurry. I'll go check on Dad. See you back at the tavern. I'll see you
And
soon.
we exit. And we take this stuff back to Lieutenant Francis, the least competent Seraph in the entire organization. At least, God, I hope he's the least. If they've got anyone worse than him, the people of Divinity's Reach are as good as dead.
I'll watch over this place.
I've got the medical supplies. That's quite a feat. No wonder Captain Thackeray trusts you. I saw Twitchy Jake with the supplies, but the Ministry Guard arrested him. Why is he out? That scoundrel's free again? After you take the medicine to your friend, report to Captain Thackeray. He needs to know about Twitchy Jake's release. I will. Thanks. Thanks for nothing. We'll teleport back here. Right next to where we've got to... oh, actually not. That's not the right place. It's almost the right place. A lot of skills to use regular mouse or an MMO mouse. I use an MMO mouse, but... and it's a big butt, because I have a big butt. I have short fingers, and that includes the thumb, which means I can only comfortably reach the first row of keys. I'm on a Corsair, I can't remember. It's got the 12 buttons, and the button pad itself slides forward and back. And I've got it all the way back, and I can still only comfortably reach the first row. But that's because my thumbs are short. Because they're also fat, I mostly can't guarantee that I'm only going to hit one. I only use one of those buttons on my 12-button thumb mouse. And that's push to talk. So, I use the MMO mouse, but not really. One of my issues, I think, with play, actually, I think I'd be a significantly better player if I had, instead of using it like this for the last 13 years, I had rebound a lot more keys. And most MMOs are a lot more keys than this one, which is generally like 13 at the most. It's like keys 1 through 0, and then 1 to 5 F keys, and then WASD movement, right? And space. So I can jump, because jumping is important. I went to the wrong place. That's the right place. But if you look at the hotbars, at least the default hotbars for WoW or LATRA or Star Wars: The Old Republic, I assume Final Fantasy XIV is the same way. I haven't played deep enough to know for sure if you end up with full hotbars. So, in fact, this is pretty minimalist compared to those. Upstairs.
You're back. They're upstairs. Take a left. First door on the right. Quick.
Quit moaning, you big whiner.
Easy, Andrew.
Yeah, half the,
Here,
well,
take
it
this.
depends. Half the screener skills.
Probably tastes terrible,
They have
but it'll
made
get you back on your feet.
some changes and are making more to try and reduce the clutter. They're trying to deal with some of the UI issues, the mod issues, and such. So yeah, compared to a WoW user interface, Guild Wars 2 is
Captain
incredibly
Thackeray?
minimalist.
What are you
and
doing here?
generally
We
that's
came to check on
good.
the tavern keeper.
But for instance,
And
you
on
can't
you.
move or
But you are
resize
our
any
manners.
of the user
Allow me to
interface
introduce
elements.
Countess Anise, master exemplar of the Shining Blade.
So, for instance,
It's an honor, milady.
the buff bar,
Captain, I found
all
the
the
medical
icons
supplies,
are
but
the
there's
size
something
of a
else.
pea,
Twitchy Jake was there.
and they're at the bottom, so
He's
you have a
free,
big screen.
even though he
it's
was
like you're
arrested in
staring
the
at the
tavern
middle of the
brawl.
screen,
Is
trying
that
to
a
do your
subtle?
combat stuff.
There's been no
And then
trial.
to actually see
Those troublemakers
what
should still
buffs
be
or
in prison,
debuffs on, you have to
unless
go,
they've been deliberately freed. But who would do that?
So sadly, that
And
is.
why?
While I think it is an enormous
never tell us
advantage to Guild
willingly.
Wars 2 that it has a
I'd send
limited
someone to
UI,
infiltrate their hideout, but they know my serve.
it
Oh,
has some real
I don't
issues.
want Big Nose Ted and his gang on the loose, and I still owe them for hurting my friend.
What a brave little soldier you are. You'll need a disguise.
And what a
of course.
condescending little
Hooligans only talk
something
freely
you
to each
are,
other.
Anise.
I can tell you where their hideout is. All you need
Wait,
is an outfit
Logan,
from one
you
of the
know where the
bandits
bandits'
themselves,
hideout
and
is.
you're in.
You know,
Leave it to me.
and you're not
I'll
doing
get the
anything.
gear
Well,
I
now
need
I know
to
where
blend in and
Francis
see what
gets
they're up
his discipline
Outstanding.
to the duty.
Pull this off, and you'll be doing Kryta and her queen a great service. And you will have impressed me yet again.
Wow.
Good luck.
I will have impressed Logan. Logan Thackeray is
Pull this off,
vanilla
you'll
ice
have to
cream
eat, breathe, think,
without the vanilla.
Stink like a bandit.
Would I rather have a pistol, a focus, or a malign staff? Oh, we'll go with a mighty pistol. Who can say no to a mighty pistol? I mean, seriously. It's mighty. Boots we can't wear. Chainmail legs we can't wear. Oh, actually, I think we may have gotten... Yes, we now get, at this point, is when you get the crude salvage kit, which if you new character, you haven't purchased it, is your first
That looks valuable.
appearance for salvaging, which I have been doing. Again, as always, deposit any of the stuff, and basically you just double-click on the salvage kit, and double-click on your deprecated equipment to turn it into little pieces of luck, which over time will increase your magic find, and crafting parts, and then some junk items that you can just sell. We exit, and I need to take an AFK for just a second to refill my coffee cup. I'll be right back.
My job is better than yours.
I'm back, and having touched on the hero points, let's look at the rest of the hero panel. Thank you. So, as you can tell, obviously, did I get another item? No, I don't. Oh, I think that's right. The top of the hero panel. There are a lot of individual lines here without even getting to these other tabs. So, the first one shows your equipment and statistics. Basic, standard, paper doll type stuff, right? If you click on an item, it'll show you if you have any similar items in your inventory that might be slottable there. Back to here, wardrobe. This allows you to change the appearance of your weapons and clothing. Basically here, you click on an item, say the spear, and it shows you all the spears you've unlocked. And to unlock them, you just need to pick it up, basically. The exception being any item that you can sell on the auction house. You can right-click on any item that you don't have the cosmetic for, and it will unlock it. But at that point, it becomes account bound. But you can change them. There is a cost of a charge of a transmigration or transmogrification charge. So if we wanted to change, say, our spear to a different shape, like, say, this one, you'll note that it has a cost of 1 transmutation charge. I'll go ahead and use that. I have almost 1,500 of them. There are a number of ways to get them in-game. You don't have to pay for them. Next is outfits, which are complete sets of clothing. For instance, the Ritualist outfit, a lot of people will have unlocked in the, I'm not sure if it's still ongoing or not, drops for the anniversary. And basically, these are dyeable. The entire thing has 4 different dye channels, so a wide variety of dyes can be given. There are a wide variety of types of outfits, and that is also something that is purchasable. Again, the dyes for dyeing your gear or your outfit, also dyeable. Your mounts, and any skiffs you have. Skiffs are an End of Dragons feature. Glider skins, mount skins, fishing stuff, End of Dragons, skiffs, End of Dragons, novelties, which are a lot like toys in WoW. The Jadebot, again, an End of Dragons feature. Miniatures, these are little non-combat pets that you can have following you around. Finishers are PvP finishers for when you kill an enemy player. Mail carriers are if mail arrives or I think is sent, you get the mail carrier image to deliver it. Very, very extensive customization. It doesn't have a subscription, so that's how they make their money. Cosmetics. And conjured doorways. We only have one of these so far, but another one is coming with the next expansion. It's the first time I've actually opened that on any of my characters. The second tab is, as I discussed, the specializations, but also has a couple other functions here in a horizontal line of tabs. Here you can see all of the weapons associated, all of the skills, the attacks and skills associated with all of the different weapons in the game, including the downed skills, because when your health is gone, you go into the downed state, and there are still things you can do. For instance, if nothing is beating on you, you can use the bandage skill, and it'll take anywhere from like 5 to 15 seconds to heal yourself back up and stand up again, because you're not dead, you're just down. So, we have the weapon skills. These are the slot skills that you will get from unlocking the skills bar that we saw in here. The skills bars, the skill circle, whatever you want to call it. You can see the skills that are unlockable here. And here is not unlockable yet, because at level 21 is when the first specialization line opens up, and you can store builds there. The next tab down is training, and this is where you train skills from the skill lines, specializations from the specialization lines, and eventually elite specializations. The elite specializations are a way to sort of significantly change the way the class plays. So for instance, initially Guardian did not have very much in the way of ranged skills. It had a couple, but mostly it was face-to-face type of spec. And then they brought in Dragon Hunter. Dragon Hunter added the longbow as a weapon they could use. And now they had a good long-range skill. And then they added Flamebrand, which was a whole lot of fire, condition damage, and healing, and buffs. And then they added Willbender, which allowed for the offhand sword, so you could dual wield swords, and that is very, very much a motion-based, movement-based skill set. And so each elite specialization significantly changes the play of the base class. Generally, they are considered to be more powerful, but it might just be that what they are is more focused, more narrowly focused. Here is the story journal. You can tell we're in chapter 1 of my story. There's Living World Season 1, 2, first expansion. Living World Season 3, second expansion. Living World Season 4, Icebrood Saga, which is often referred to as Living World Season 5. Third expansion, fourth expansion, fifth expansion. Here is the crafting. We have not learned any crafting on this character yet. These are the disciplines for crafting. Technically, we do have Handy Worker, as that is making housing items. That is account-wide. This is the achievements. I did show this previously. The character adventure guide being the best way to make sure that you level in a pretty quick fashion. I'm barely at level 12. Now, if I talk to one more scout or use my healing skill one more time, we'll hit 14 and we'll get a big bunch. We'll get a small bunch of XP for finishing up this item, either one of those. But we'll get a bunch for finishing off the guide. We also have the using emotes. Let's just see if I wave at this person. /wave. Boom. Okay. Adventure Guide Volume 1 completed and using emotes completed. So I went from basically 0% to level 13 to 20%. But now the reward for finishing that out is going to be a bunch of XP. I'm currently at 12.2 is my level. I accept.
I achieve things.
Level 13 and a half. So that was worth 1.3 levels for finishing the first chapter of the adventure guide. And also any things that I'd done in chapter 2. I'll show you that again. Character adventure guide, chapter 1. We still have a couple more things we can complete for extra XP. And in volume 2, we had completed these two, and so we immediately got XP for those as well. But there are shitloads of possible achievements to chase. Some of them require extraordinary amounts of time and effort. Some of them are really easy. All kinds of stuff. A lot of it you're going to get done just by playing. I currently have 22,178 achievement points. I think the current world record holders are at like 50-something thousand. 50,000 became available like a year ago, year and a half, something like that. It was the first time someone cracked 50,000. And lastly, down here we have Masteries, which is an end game horizontal progression. Some of it in Central Tyria, but most of it is expansion based. So for instance, in Path of Fire, there is one mastery line of like 4 or 5 skills. You have to get mastery points in the expansion areas, and you have to get XP in the expansion areas. And each of the mounts has its own mastery. There's 5 mounts in Path of Fire, and I'm not sure, there may be another mastery or 2 in there as well. I don't recall off the top of my head. But these are all horizontal. They may increase your power, but it's not going to be direct power. It's mostly quality of life stuff and expansion specific stuff. So those are all of the tabs that make up your hero tab. I have to obtain a bandit disguise. Well, that's out of the town. That's here near the village of Shaymore, where you may remember an hour and 45 minutes ago, we were a hero. We saved the day. Each of the mounts which were introduced in Path of Fire has its own usage case where it is best suited. The first one you get is the Raptor. It has horizontal movement. Then you get the Springer. It has vertical movement in that it's basically a big wabbit. The next one is the Skimmer, which goes across the water quickly and also across quicksand. It's a desert expansion. Then you get the Jackal, which has short-range teleports and can use sand portals. Basically, a sand portal has two ends to a pipe. You go in one, you come out the other, and it's not obvious where they take you unless you know where it's going. So they're not like this will take you there and you know it in advance. If you don't know, I think they point in the same general direction that they'll take you, but they don't specifically like say on the map where it's going to take you. Then if you finish out Path of Fire, that opens up the Griffin Mount, which is flying. Then there's the Skyscale, which is a different kind of flying. There's the Roller Beetle, which is extremely fast, but doesn't turn very well. The Warclaw, which initially was just the PvP area. You could use it elsewhere, but there was no reason to. But they just improved its playability in the last expansion, and I believe the Skimmer is getting the same treatment. It's getting an upgrade in the upcoming expansion.
You're trespassing, jerk.
I am a trespassing jerk. That's who I am.
You got me.
I now am in a bandit outfit. I like to think of it as my bandit cosplay. Trick or treat.
Welcome to the barbecue, new meat. My name's Switch.
I'm called Shadow.
Yeah,
got
I'm
out
called
just today.
Shadow.
Free pardon, huh? Me too. Cheers for the ministry, eh? Who'd have known they were such an understanding bunch? We're gearing up for a big job this time.
Yeah.
Make yourself useful and ask around for something to do.
Good call. Good call. Thanks, Switch. Okay, upcoming now is, once again, the best NPC in the game and the single best line of dialogue in MMO history. Here we go.
I'm Uptown Johnny, baby. Man plus.
And she walks away and shrugs. Poor Uptown Johnny. Shot down first of all by barmaid Barbara and now by a bandit scout who didn't even give him the time of day. But does it really matter? He's Uptown Johnny, baby. Man plus. I'll just skip through the chat, hit the green star ones if you're not interested in everything else he has to say. Because really, after you've said, I'm Uptown Johnny, baby, man plus, there's nothing else to say. The burn raid. And now I need to get, for Blaze, nominative determinism, I need to get the explosives.
Hurry up. Blaze wants those fuses.
Or the fuses, technically, I guess he wants to.
Cozy. You sure about this?
I was, but
I take the
I'm
fuses.
changing my mind.
Now, I always ask this. His name is Blaze, but it's Blaize. But he has a burned face. So, was he named Blaze and then had the bad fortune to be caught in a fire? Or do they call him Blaze because he was caught in a fire and he chooses to spell it differently so that it doesn't sound like everyone's making fun of him?
I'm a wanted man.
I mean, these fuses? All right, back to Captain Thackeray. Logan Thackeray. At one point, I had a key farm character named Thogan Lackery. I made him look as much like Logan as I could manage. Infiltration.
Here's our favorite new undercover operative now. Let's see if the hero Shaymore can shed some light on things. I'm on duty.
Yeah, I know you're on duty. What did you learn? It's bad. Ted plans to burn down Vanguard Hospital and Queen's Heart Orphanage. That's the orphanage and the Veterans Hospital. That filthy scum! We'll have to split up to cover both sites, so we'll be stretched thin. I'll lead the defense on one. Lieutenant Francis will take the other. Lieutenant Francis is about to live down to his reputation. You go with one of us. I'll help cover the orphanage, because, hey, little kids. You gotta protect the little kids.
Ted thinks we can't be in two places at once. But that's why the gods invented teamwork.
The gods invented teamwork and then left because they didn't want to hang out with humans anymore. Level 14. I have a new hat. And a new coat. And a new trident. A hammer I can't use. And boots I can't wear.
One more thing for my list of accomplishments.
And that was depositing material and salvaging items completed. More stuff in Adventure Guide 2. As I said, that is the real key to leveling more quickly. If you're interested in leveling more quickly, the Adventure Guide. I cannot recommend that strongly enough for a new player who wants to advance more quickly. And by the way, I would recommend not using a level 80 boost if you're a new player to the game. Because even if you're leveling at an accelerated pace the way I am here, the way you would if you're following the Adventure Guide, you're still going to pick up on the mechanics. You're going to start to see the way things work together and go, oh, okay, I see we use this and then that. And you'll see some of the interrelationships, the synergies, stuff like that. If you just pop to level 80, because the game plays very differently than if you're used to WoW, WATRO, or if you don't play MMO RPGs at all, the number of game systems that work differently than you might expect is going to be overwhelming. And so I strongly recommend against using the boost on your first character. After that, that can be a completely different kettle of fish, if you will. We're over here, back to the home district again. The level 80 booster is a trap for new players. You really need to learn the way the game systems play, or you will be lost. And I have seen that from streamers in the past. I don't know if you're familiar with Preach. Started as a WoW streamer, moved on to other stuff. Eventually he came to Guild Wars 2, and he decided he wanted to do a blind playthrough. So he didn't have chat up while he was playing through. And as an experienced player, sometimes it was very painful to watch because you just want to go, no, it's the thing on the right. Push the button on the right. And because he wasn't looking through chat, it does give a very honest display or expression of the difficulties someone who is very, very experienced at games and MMOs can have when they come to Guild Wars 2, because things do play differently. I will also note one thing Preach said while he was, partway through his playthrough, and he did all of the expansions that were available at the time. And he did also all of the raids. But partway through, towards maybe 2/3 of the way through his entire run, he said, if you enjoy MMORPGs and you're not playing Guild Wars 2, now this is the direct quote, you're fucking yourself. So, take that for what you will. That was the way Preach expressed it, and I have mentioned it in the past. There's an awful lot to like in the game. But it does have a curve. And it can smack you in the face. When I first got into the beta, I was used to WoW, but I was also used to Star Wars Galaxies and Anarchy Online. So I was used to games that played differently than WoW. After about 4 hours in the beta, I was thinking I'd made a mistake by buying it. I wasn't getting it. It wasn't clicking. But after about 4 hours, it started to click. I started to understand the way the game systems worked very differently from what I was used to, but they started to make sense. And I had 5,000 hours in the game since it launched, so...
Someone, please, save the children.
The orphanage is this...
Stop them before the fire spreads.
All right, let me knock down the door.
Look at him run. Like, you better run, you squeaky little sunface.
I've dodged attacks. It's Uptown Johnny, baby. Man plus... Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny. Were you using your cardiovascular system? Because not anymore. Level 15. More hero points. Another profession skill unlocked. And a utility skill unlocked. Let's go ahead and spend those hero points. Now we're at level 15. It wouldn't be unusual for me to start saving my points up so that when at level 21 we can open up our first line of specialization. I would have some of that, but I don't think that's really necessary in this case. We'll go with signets. And here it'll be, let's see. Let's go ahead with the signet. Straightforward, simple.
Math time, kids. How many bombs does it take to set a seraph on fire?
How many bombs does it take to set a seraph on fire? Now, Blaze is kind of annoying as a mob to fight at low levels. I'm going to go ahead and heal. Let's taunt him. Because he has a very rare buff on him at all times. Which makes it that he can only have one condition at a time. And each new condition removes the previous one. A lot of builds are dot builds. Basically, there are two kinds of builds in the game. What are called strike or power, and condi, condition or dot damage for us MMO players. Damage over time, bleeds, poisons, stuff like that. We did also get our third shatter, and this shatter dazes mobs for 1 second, and it only single target, and a daze basically is a crowd control effect. The Wizard's Vault is free goodies. There are dailies, weeklies, and specials that'll normally last for weeks or months, and they all give these points that can be used to buy rewards. Some are cosmetic, but some are used in-game. These are ascended weapons, which are stat-wise the highest tier weapons and armor available in the game. You can get just flat gold. So, for instance, a lot of new players would like to have a little bit of gold for spending on, relatively cheap stuff off off the auction house, but for instance, I have 850 out of the total 1,300 that you can, to the cap before you have to spend some. And 540 will get you 90 gold. 6 points for a gold, up to 90 of them. And that is a big deal for a new player to get access to a good chunk of change early on. So those, that was the redo they did on the daily and weekly system, is the Wizard's Vault, and it was a great addition to the game. Now we're going to run over to the other smoking, flaming location, the Veterans Hospital, where Francis is supposed to be taking care of things. Unfortunately, as we covered earlier, Francis is not. All right, first of all, we get interrupted by Sarantine. Is she going to show up this time? There she is.
The Ministry Guard will take it from here.
It's back at the orphanage. Francis is going to tell us that everyone got out okay, but...
It's a soldier's life for me. Lieutenant Francis, what's the situation here?
We got all the people out, sir, but so far we haven't found any.
We got all the people out, sir. You heard him say that. He just said, we got all the people out.
Francis, tell me you got everyone out.
He just told you that he got everyone out.
No, sir. Sorry, sir. We got some of the people
This
clear,
is
but there
Francis.
were still people inside when it
This
went
is
off.
the Francis experience.
Did you at least catch the arsonists?
No, sir. Never even saw them. Sorry, sir.
We
He
had better
did
luck
nothing.
at the orphanage.
He
Big
didn't
Nose
get
instead
everybody
won't
out.
cause anyone
He didn't
any
catch
trouble
anybody. So
ever again.
far, he's 0
It's
for
not
4.
enough. We have to do better.
He failed to guard the supplies, the medical
We've all been
supplies.
through a lot.
He didn't
This isn't
go
the
get
time or
them from
place
the
for
bandits.
debriefing.
He did not
Especially not with
successfully
Sarantine sniffing around. She keeps
evacuate
turning up at these
the
crime
Veterans
scenes, but
Hospital.
always too late.
He did not catch
Starting to
anyone
wonder
there.
if there's a connection. Meet me in my office after you've had a
Also,
chance to rest
I
up.
forgot to
We'll discuss
re-dye
our
my
next
stuff
move
because I
then.
have new duds. And we can't have that. Here we go. Evergreen, Old Nickel, and Frost Breeze.
That's how it's done.
And again, applying dye. That was like another, I don't know, third of a level. Once again, the adventure guide strikes.
What's next?
A new great sword, new and improved. Our first shoulders, but that needs new dyes. Oh well. Short bow we can't use. New pants we can use. We have our choice of 2. We don't like the first batch of dyes we get. We have a second use of Lens's magic power for random dyes. There we go. That is disgusting. It's perfect for a Mesmer.
Eat my dust.
Illumination, Robin, and Hot Pink. You know, I could go hunting in the thickest jungle in the world, and no hunter is going to accidentally shoot me.
Eat my dust.
I mean, it's possible they may look at me and have a grand mal seizure, but nobody is going to shoot me by accident. All right, as I mentioned earlier, we have the best line of dialogue in I'm Uptown Johnny, baby, Man Plus. Now we're about to have the most terrifying line of dialogue in the game. It comes from Countess Anise. She uses the words Logan and hard on in a sentence.
He's a good man, but he's not.
You're too hard on yourself, Logan.
You see?
And on
One sentence, it has the words Logan and hard on.
to perfection.
No.
Why do you
Just no.
What a pleasure to see you.
All right, Anise is gonna. She's a real mesmer. I'm like a beanie little mesmer, so she's gonna use her mesmery skills, and I now look like Big Nose Ted.
It's not permanent, so stop crying.
And Logan looks like Blaze. Why do I have to be the burned one? You whiner, Logan. Oh my God,
I was too hard on Francis. Ultimately, the responsibility lies with me.
And here we have the worst cell in the entire kingdom. I'm not sure there's even room to lay down in there. And here comes Sarantine.
Shh! I hear something. It's coming from below, and that floor grate is moving. So that's how they've been getting in and out without being seen.
How else would they be getting in and out?
Patience, Logan.
You've got guards at the front door
you'll
and a
give away
grate
the
that no
entire
one's
game.
watching.
Ted, springing you is becoming a full-time job, you troll-faced goon.
Gotta give her
Come on,
credit.
get you
Troll-faced
out of here.
goon? Quality insult.
Thanks, Commander. But I'm not Ted. And you're not going anywhere.
The game is over,
Nolan
17.
North, I believe,
You
doing
wanna
the
live, throw down
human
your
male
weapons.
voice.
Now.
Clever. Finally one step ahead of me, eh, Logan? Too bad you won't live to brag about it. Guards, leave no one alive. That's an order.
Evidently, she gets her guards where Spectre gets theirs. And I guess AIM gets theirs. Basically, all the comic book places get theirs. I crit a bunch of them. One-shotted them. Losers. Losers. Oh, you guys don't want to hit me. Oh, look at you. You all just fell over. Isn't that just terrible? I have defeated 25 of 25 enemies, and that's yet another level.
Don't dance. Kill. God's do I have to do everything myself.
Yes, you do. Have to do everything yourself. Don't mind me. I'm a troll-faced goon. You remember that? Remember that? Hey, Anise. Quit fighting with the guy who's out there way far away. Get to work here on Sarantine with me. You troll-faced goon. Crit! Eat the crit! Eat a bunch of shatters. Crit!
Strong. I'll see you again.
No, you won't see her again, Logan. She's dead. God. Logan.
That was exhilarating. And effective. Commander Sarantine's little work release program is officially shut down. You've won a major victory for your queen, Captain. But it wouldn't have happened without the help of our new friend.
Hi there. I'm the new friend.
Anise is right.
Wow, I
Congratulations
love
on
that.
an order.
Him talking to
More
me,
than
and I'm
earned the
wearing that
gratitude of the
outfit.
Seraph.
How good is that?
Enjoy your
fuck,
victory.
That outfit. How
I'll
good
be
is
in touch
that?
with you again soon. Divinity's Reach. can
Mister, I'm
already use
serious,
some
Logan Thackeray. I've got armor,
I'll
and
be
I've got a
ready.
nice tunic, and what are you wearing? You look like Liberace's fucking closet threw up on you. I know. Isn't it great?
Urge to kill rising.
Elton John looks at what I'm wearing and goes, I gotta draw a line somewhere. Out we go. So that is the end of the first chapter of the personal story. But mind you, that's one of just 3 personal story choices that I could have taken for the human. I could have also chosen to have a background of a noble or a background of a street urchin, basically. And those are very different stories.
Eat my dust.
You may get references to some of the other characters that are in some of the other stories and stuff, but they're all separate. And every race has, for chapters 10, or for chapter 1 and 2, which is basically level 10, level 20, very different storylines. I have another level. Now the rewards are a small amount of luck. Wonder what luck is. You can see by going in here. to the achievements, and you can see Magic Find here. My current Magic Find is plus 206%, and it's going to cost, it takes 22,100 luck for me to get to 207%. And that was 50. And I think the cap is 400% or maybe it's 300%. Anyway, I won't be getting there anytime soon. We also get an embroidered coin purse with a little bit of money that had 1 silver and 21 copper, which really isn't much at all. I have a new pair of shoes. Now these have no stats on them, but what you can do is you can go to customize, and a lot of endgame or leveling gear will not have stats. Instead, it allows you to choose your stats. And at low levels, power and vitality is always a good choice. We'll wear those. Salvage those. We've got new item of attire. So, these are awful shoes. They're terrible. You note, I don't wear socks. On a personal note, I've never been able to trust or become close to a person who wears shoes without socks. Just saying. If you wear shoes without socks, I'm not judging you. Except, of course, I am. Dies. We're going to re-die, and here we go. If this wasn't appalling enough. Not quite as bad. We have Golden Lion, which is a really nice die. Vine Ice. And Cerulean Sky. Still, it does look like Elton John's wardrobe puked on me. Now, the last thing you get, and this is the reason people will do the key farm once a week on their characters, is if you get a Black Lion chest as a drop, otherwise you can buy them cheap on the auction house. They're usually like 20 copper or something like that. But you need a key to open them, and normally you have to buy the keys or get them through a key farm, or very, very rarely, I believe in my entire 5,000 plus hours, I've gotten 2 or 3 as random drops out in the world. But here's what is in the box. When I open it, I am guaranteed to get a Black Lion statuette and a fine Black Lion die canister, which is used to get one of several different kinds of dies. I will get 2 commons. Good ones in here are the unlocks, and maybe the dies if I get lucky, but for a new character, any die would be lucky. Black Lion claim ticket scrap is okay. Not so great for a new player because you need 10. The crafting mats are good for me because I would like to make more legendaries, but again, not that great for a new player, but you can also sell those. A lot of the stuff is sort of account utility stuff, which you may or may not find useful. For instance, a new player would probably find the transmutation charges cool for changing how your gear looks. There's a 10% chance when I open the box that I will get an uncommon or better. And so uncommons, in this case, we've got skins. You can see here this is a great big greatsword, and when you pull it out, pardon the phrasing, not only is it kind of cool looking, but it's also got this smoky blue glow to it. And these are the Decabi weapons. Also in here there's a chair, which in this case technically isn't really a chair, it's a chamber. I think you can stand or sit in it. It's meant to be sort of a healing thing. It doesn't actually do anything. It's purely visual. And then there's the Haunted Anchor skin, which is actually quite nice. It's an axe skin that looks like a glowing anchor. And frankly, I could definitely see getting one of the classes that can dual wield axes to be dual wielding this with a nautically themed outfit, and that would kick ass. The rares are the Necrotic Essence set, which are sort of green and smoky or poison drippy or something like that. They're cool. And then the super rares, which of course I'll never get. I will click open. I'll get a common here, and what I'm hoping for, 10% chance is to get another box to appear, and that will have an uncommon or better in it. It's been a long time since I got an uncommon or better. MarinaNet, you owe me. Here we go. Nope. But if you're not going to get an uncommon or better, this is about as good as you can do. A die pack and a guaranteed wardrobe unlock. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put away these, the two default things you got. Excuse me. And hey, I just deposited something in my bank, and guess what? That's another thing for the Adventure Guide Volume 2, and it gave me a level. New shoulder pads, better than the ones I'm wearing. Which means we get to, yes, another die. Another die job. We'll deconstruct the old ones. We'll randomly re-die. Here we go again. Drum roll, please. That almost works, you know? That's Arcane, which is one of the brightest purples in the game. It's a very cool color. Tarnished Steel and Jungle. But look, you can see my ankles. It's just a terrible look. Guys, just always wear socks, okay? Barefoot or socks. Or sandals and no socks. Those are okay. So, amongst the dies, used to be this die would, you'd have more chance of getting a common, then an uncommon, then a rare, then an exclusive. They've changed this now, so all of the dies in the pack have the same chance, but I do have all of these, which are uncommon, and all of these, which are common. And then it has, 9 exclusives out of the 24, 36% chance for exclusives, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them I don't have. So there are 4 dies out of 25. That's a 16% chance for me to get a die I do not have. It's an exclusive. There are now 4 out of 9, or 44%, to get a die I do not have. Exclusives are, I believe, only available from die kits. I got a new die. This is Valor die. That's the blue color you see? Well, the light blue color. Well, sort of the slate blue color. Anyway, the bluish color as opposed to the purple or green. Thank you, Fat Body. Yeah, nice. Another one of the exclusives is always always welcome. I always check to see what it's worth out of curiosity, but I'm keeping it regardless. Over a gold, I'd bet. Maybe 2? 1 gold, 3. So just a whisker over a gold. I will keep that. Now, the guaranteed wardrobe unlock. It can be any non-legendary weapon, armor, skin, outfit, die, glider, mini, finisher, mail carrier, as you can see, but it's got to be one you don't already have. This is an awful lot of stuff that I don't have. And it's going to be one at random. So, it could be incredible. I could get something incredibly awesome. I could also get something that's an incredible piece of crap. Regardless, it's always cool because it's just a fun. Gambling is fun. There's a part of our brain that when we gamble, it gets scratched. It feels so good. Okay? So, even if we get crap, it's always fun to get an unlock. And here we go. We got the Godskull Flintlock.
What do you need?
It sounded way cooler than it looks. It looks like a pistol made not out of the skull of a god, but out of like a skull of a, I don't know, small gator. It's not terrible. I could see a use case for it, but I would say, to my tastes, on a 10 scale, 0 to 10, that's probably like a 2. But that's the way it is. Random and gonna be random. I do want to check and see what the other Godskull things look like. So you can go to your vault and by default, it's your bank. I have a lot more tabs than you're going to start with. You have material storage, which you can expand, again, using the in-game currency. You can have a stack of 250.
I didn't see you there.
And then also there's the wardrobe storage, which shows you everything you've unlocked, but also shows you the stuff you haven't unlocked. So you can see of all of the light armor headgear in the game, I've got what? 15% maybe? Well, let's see. 101 out of 297, more than I thought. I have over a third of the headpieces in the game unlocked. But if we go to weapon skins and we type in God Skull, I already had the longbow and the axe previously, and now I've added the pistol. Staves are usually a good choice to see how something looks. Yeah, they're all done in sort of a primitive bone theme. So I gotta say, not really to my taste. I'm gonna stick with. Okay, that one's impressive. Actually, what they look like is they look like Monster Hunter weapons.
I'm not sure about this.
If you're a Monster Hunter player, I'm not, but I have watched enough Monster Hunter streams, and I have friends who are Monster Hunter players. They look like Monster Hunter type stuff. So if that's an aesthetic you like, while for me it's only a 2, I actually would probably give a 4 to the Greatsword, and maybe even a 5, because that's a much cooler looking skin than the pistol was. I could actually, yeah, that's a 5 at least on the Greatsword. Maybe even as high as a 7 if I wanted to do like a Ranger type build that went full Monster Hunter type gear. I would say that one is a 7. But when I got the pistols, I'm going to stick with my 2. Not very impressive. But Fashion Wars is the true end game of Guild Wars 2. A lot of people will say that for a lot of different MMORPGs. It's probably pretty close to mostly true in Guild Wars 2. I am going to call it here for the day. I will be back tomorrow at my usual time of 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. For more, I will continue to level this character up for some number of days. And as I level him up, I'm going to continue to talk about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, hoping to provide some useful information to anyone who's new to the game. So, for instance, a lot of times when I am leveling up a character, I do it by map completion, where I will complete an entire map, which has is good XP, provides you with some extra goodies when you're done, including about a 30% chance of another key. It's probably another hour and a half for me to complete the map. I will probably complete this map. Now, usually when I'm leveling up most of my characters and trying to do it as brainlessly as possible, I will do the first 2 or 3 maps as just starting maps. I'll do Human, Norn, and Asura most of the time because those are the 3 fastest. But I think in this case what I'll do is I'll stick to a more traditional leveling. I will finish this map out and then I will move on to one of the other human maps, one of the adjacent ones, which will probably be Keswick Hills, which is to the south of Queensdale. Queensdale's supposed to be 1 through 15, and then 15 through 25 for Keswick. So that's probably the way I will do it. So tomorrow then, I will finish out Queensdale. We are 37% done with the map, but now we'll be working pretty much exclusively on the map completion first. That'll probably get us to 20. And then we'll do chapter 2 of the storyline, finish out the map if we haven't, and move into the second map. Again, I will be trying to walk through the reasons I'm doing the things I am doing as I do them. By the way, 2% done with the world map for the core game when it released. 2%. But I'm going to call it here for now. Again, I want to thank you guys for hanging out. As always, I am very appreciative. Hopefully you will see me soon. I'm back tomorrow at the usual time. Any problems or issues, I will drop a note in Discord. If you want to check out the Discord, you can. But for now, I'm going to call it here. Again, thanks guys for hanging out. Hopefully you'll see me soon. Have a great rest of your Monday night or possibly early Tuesday. And as always, I try to to set an achievable goal for the people who hang out here. I hope the rest of your work week doesn't suck. Back tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. And ciao for now. Bye, guys.